The news broke this morning not with a bang, but with a profound, unsettling silence. Across the vast heartland of America, a stillness has fallen. Tractors sit idle in their sheds. Fields, ripe for harvest, remain untouched. The engines of American agriculture have ground to a halt. This is not a natural disaster. It is a deliberate, coordinated shutdown. Farmers, the very backbone of this nation's sustenance, have walked off their land. They have stopped working. The decision, announced through a coalition of farming unions, has sent shockwaves. Wall Street, Washington, D.C., every American home. The question on everyone's mind is simple, yet terrifyingly complex. What happens now? Tonight, we are a nation staring into an abyss. The Great American Shutdown, as its organizers are calling it, is an unprecedented act of civil protest. It is a direct challenge to the federal government, and to the presidency of Donald Trump. The immediate effects are already being felt. Commodity markets are in chaos. Food distributors are sounding alarms. This was not a sudden decision. It was a slow burn, a crisis simmering for years beneath the surface of rural America. The farmers who have now shut down their operations speak of a death by 1,000 cuts. They point to a series of economic and policy decisions that have squeezed them from every direction. The primary catalyst was the Agricultural Security and Competitiveness Act of 2024. The legislation, championed by the Trump administration, further deregulated agriculture and opened the door to greater consolidation. Farmers argue it did the opposite of providing security. It stripped away the last of their protections. Long-standing subsidy programs, the safety net against volatile markets and weather, were dismantled. Regulations on large-scale agribusiness monopolies were eased. Small and medium family farms found themselves unable to compete. Prices were controlled for everything from seeds, fertilizer, to the final sale of their crops. Farmers described a feeling of complete powerlessness. Price takers, not price makers. Trapped in a system designed to consolidate their land into a few powerful hands. Lingering trade wars from Trump's first term compounded the pressure. Markets abroad never fully recovered. Soy, corn, wheat, once reliable buyers found other suppliers. President Trump's reaction to the farmers' shutdown was immediate, unfiltered, and entirely predictable. It was pure Trump doctrine. There was no attempt at conciliation, no call for calm, dialogue. Instead, he chose confrontation. His first public statement came not from the briefing room, but from his Truth Social account. At 6:15 a.m. he posted, "Woke farmers think they can blackmail our great country. Not going to happen. They are playing into the hands of our enemies. Sad. We will not negotiate with these people. America is strong. We will have food. Their pathetic shutdown will fail." The message was clear. This was not a negotiation. It was a battle. Throughout the day, the president escalated his rhetoric. He framed the farmers' protest as an act of subversion. "These aren't farmers," he stated. "These are radical left agitators, probably funded by George Soros, trying to destroy America from within. They hate our country." The crisis unfolded with breathtaking speed. On day one, the shutdown began at dawn. The Farmers' Defense Coalition issued its formal declaration. They cited the 2024 Agricultural Act and blamed the administration's willful neglect. By 6:15 a.m., President Trump had posted his first fiery condemnation. The post spread across feeds within minutes. Within hours, commodity markets reacted violently. Futures for wheat soared by their daily limits. Futures for corn and soybeans soared by their daily limits. The Dow Jones plunged 800 points in early trading. Investors panicked at the prospect of a disrupted food supply chain. The initial impact was immediate and financial. Day 2 saw the first tangible effects on the ground. Major food distributors and logistics companies began issuing warnings. A spokesperson warned of critical shortages without grain for feed. Poultry and hog operations would face shortages within a week. Supermarkets assured shelves were stocked, urging swift resolution. The messaging, meant to prevent panic, had the opposite effect. By midday, social media flooded with images of bulk buying. Shoppers were grabbing flour, milk, bread, meat. The first signs of panic buying had begun. On day 3, today, political and social ramifications intensified dramatically. The chasm between the White House and the Heartland is best understood through their own words. The rhetoric could not be more different. President Trump speaks in terms of loyalty, betrayal, and national security.
There is no greater threat to this country right now than these domestic saboteurs. They are holding America hostage. You are not patriots. You are enemies of the people. You will be treated as such. Your time is up.
His language aims to criminalize the protest and rally his base. The farmers speak a language of desperation, community, and survival. Dale Erickson. We are not enemies. We are fathers, mothers, and grandparents. We love this country. We feed this country. But we cannot do it for free. We cannot go bankrupt so that a few massive corporations can get richer. We have been asking for a fair shake for years. All we got was silence. This shutdown is not an attack. It is a cry for help. The president's feed is a constant barrage of accusations.
The fake news media is siding with the farm anarchists. Of course they are. They want to see our country fail. The American people are smart. They know who is fighting for them. Me. We will have food. We will use the strategic food reserve and bring in food from other countries if we have to. These farmers will be replaced.
This threat, to replace American farmers with foreign imports, was particularly inflammatory. Farmers countered with videos of their families, their land, their empty ledgers. This is not about politics for us. This is our life. Fertilizer up 300%, fuel up 200%, grain prices stuck for a decade. We are drowning. Mr. President, please just listen to us. The shutdown fractured public opinion.
They're holding us hostage. I have to feed my family, and how is this fair?
Pro-Trump outlets amplified that view, but progressive groups and labor unions rallied to the farmers, strange bedfellows uniting against unchecked corporate power. The economic impact has been immediate and profound, revealing the fragility of our food supply chain. Within 72 hours, the gears of a system we take for granted have begun to seize. Factories and docks are going idle. The first visible effect is on commodity prices. Markets are spiking. Corn, wheat, soybeans, a ticking time bomb for consumer prices. Manufacturers warn they'll pass costs to consumers. Bread companies, meat processors, trucking firms see contracts evaporate, drivers laid off, rail freight plunges, related industries, equipment and chemicals reel from the shock. The most alarming consequence, looming physical shortages. Dairy aisles are already being hit. Weeks of inventory exist, but mostly for processed and packaged goods. Fresh produce is far more precarious. Dairy farmers are dumping thousands of gallons of milk. Meat grows scarce as lines shut down. Experts warn widespread shortages within 10 to 14 days. Our hyper-efficient food machine is built for profit, not resilience, and the wrench has been thrown. The political fallout in Washington has been swift and brutal. The divide deepens. The president's handling is a lightning rod, across parties. Concern rises even within his own party. Refusal to engage and treason talk leave no off-ramp. Republicans are torn between loyalty and constituents. Thune urges a calm, serious conversation. Trump fires back. Weak and ineffective. Afraid of the farmers. We need fighters. A dangerous phase where he is willing to cannibalize his own party. A potential permanent schism. Democrats frame the administration as chaotic, incompetent, at war with its own people. Emergency hearings, subpoenas, and a national platform for the farmers. They cast the president as dangerously unfit, careful not to be seen exploiting crisis. The limits of executive power are being tested. Hints at using military or federal force to compel work are legally dubious. Such moves would face swift court challenges. A constitutional crisis looms, and the risk of peaceful protests turning into physical confrontation rises. The chaos is not a sideshow. It is steering the crisis toward once unthinkable outcomes. As night falls on October 4, 2025, the United States stands at a perilous crossroads. The path forward is shrouded in uncertainty, from a negotiated settlement to a catastrophic escalation. The immediate future hinges on President Trump and the Farmers' Coalition. If the president moderates and opens dialogue, resolution is possible. With concessions like emergency subsidies and revisiting the controversial 2024 Act, it would be a political defeat, but it could avert disaster. If he doubles down, the crisis will almost certainly worsen. Legal injunctions, Asset seizures or federal deployments would be a monumental gamble. It might break the shutdown, but at immense cost to public trust, or fail spectacularly, sparking broader unrest. Labeled traders, some may feel they have nothing left to lose. The long-term consequences will be profound. Our supply chain's vulnerabilities are exposed, and the deep economic despair in rural America laid bare. A national conversation is inevitable about policy, corporate monopolies, and power between small producers and giants. Strange new alliances may reshape politics beyond red versus blue. Ultimately, this is more than crop prices. It is a symptom of a deeper national illness.